Welcome to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. I have another exciting I-751 case to share with you today. I-751 is the form number for a petition to remove conditions on residency. If you caught us our last notable approval, we also talked about an I-751, and that is because on this Thursday, September 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, attorney Aaron Shapiro and I will be co-hosting a Facebook and YouTube Live Q&A discussion on I-751. So we invite you all to join. Make sure you follow us, like us on Facebook, so you don't miss out. Set your reminders. So today we have another, like I said, exciting I-751 case. Today the client is a native and citizen of Mali. He became a conditional resident in 2016 based on his marriage to a U.S. citizen. And he got a 2-year green card or conditional resident card because he and his wife had been married for less than 2 years at the time of his adjustment of status interview. So he needed to file the I-751 petition into 2018. And a few months before, he went to one of his friends that he trusted, was not a lawyer, and he knew had helped other people before to help him with the filing. And this is a great cautionary tale of why you should not go to someone to help you with something like this who is not a lawyer. Sometimes these people are known as notorios, or they might be a paralegal, and the idea is I'm going to save a little bit of money, instead of hiring a lawyer. But the problem is things happen that shouldn't happen, as is the case here. So what happened here is about a month before, he gave his friend everything he needed. The signed I-751, the supporting evidence, and the filing fee. And his friend said, okay, I know we need to file it by this date, and I'll have it done for you. So client leaves, and he gets filed, he gets his receipt notice, and then all of a sudden in 2019, he gets a request for evidence. And in that request for evidence, it says, you filed your Form I-751 8 days late. Explain the reason for your failure, give us documents to back up, reason for your failure to file timely, get some evidence to back up that it was for good cause and outside of your control. So the client, he goes and sends in whatever he sends in, and then he gets a second request for evidence. When he gets the second request, he comes to us. So we say, okay, why was this late? What happened? Tell me what happened. He goes, well, I was in the hospital. I'm like, okay, well, when were you in the hospital? He's like, right around when it was due. I go, all right, you can get the medical records? Yeah, I can get the medical records. So he goes out and tries to get the medical records. He brings me something, and I look at it, and I'm like, this was due in April, and this says you were in the hospital in February. How long were you in the hospital? He said 1 night. He goes, but I had to go back a couple of times. I'm like, okay. So we went through all the facts, and I go, but the problem is, though, they're not going to excuse it because of that, because you still had time to submit it. So I go, what, was there something else you're not telling me here? And that's when he told me about his friend that he hired. And I go, all right, well, do you have proof that you hired this guy to do the work for you and he didn't? He said, no. I go, do you have a last name? He said, no. Do you have his contact information? He's like, he's not answering me anymore. He's ignoring me. So it's like, all right, well, all we can do now is be honest. So let's sit down, write a statement explaining exactly what you told me, how you went to the guy, you knew he had done the same thing for others before, you trusted him, and he just didn't send it out on time. And the client at this point was getting frustrated with me because he wanted to just submit the medical records and be done with it. And I told him, you got to trust me. This isn't going to work. This is why you come to a lawyer. I know what's going to work and what's not, and what's a good excuse and what's not. So we sent it in, and about a month later, his I-751 was approved. And of course, he's already eligible for naturalization, and I believe will be applying soon. So that is all today for notable approvals. We had a very important cautionary tale that you should only go to licensed attorneys for any of your immigration or legal needs. And don't forget to catch us on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube for our Q&A discussion on I-751s. Feel free to email us questions in advance, and we will also answer your questions live. We'll see you there.